I'm Colleen Taylor with TechCrunch TV. We're here in downtown San Francisco at Rocketspace, a co-working space that has tech and new media startups. So we're going to go inside and take a look around. Can you tell us what Rocketspace is?
So when we started the business, we started 14 months ago, and pretty much the idea then was office as a service. So it was a co-working space, but very quickly we moved into focus into being an accelerator. So very quickly we said you have to be a technology company to get in here, you have to be seed funded or beyond, and we see ourselves positioned at one side. There's incubators like Y Combinator, 500 startups. We deliberately position ourselves post-incubator, so we want the companies to have at least a seed round or to be coming from those incubators, and then we look how can we accelerate their growth. So we position ourselves as an accelerator.
And you're 14 months old, and I understand your growth has been pretty big. Can you tell me exactly how many startups are here?
So yeah, in the 14 months we have located in Rocketspace today, there's 126, 127 companies, which is about 500 people. But in that time, once a company gets to 30 people, they have to move on. And a kind of flow in our business is when you focus on the best companies, who are obviously at the moment raising a lot of money, they're growing so quickly. So we already have 48, 49 alumni companies who have been into Rocketspace but moved on. People like Uber, like Zarly, Pocket Gems. These are all companies which have outgrown us already. So it's been very fast.
And it isn't just desks and things as well, right? Can you tell me a little bit about what it's like if you're a company within Rocketspace?
Yeah, it's I think for us, real estate's just a platform. We operate on the real estate side. It's a one price, all inclusive. It's a necessary evil in some regards for our business. What we're really interested in is what can we do on top of that platform. So once companies are in here, we're really interested in helping them accelerate their growth. And our objective is to be seen as a hit factory. So the next Twitters, the next Facebook, so forth are coming out of Rocketspace. Now to do that, it's just a huge amount of work around helping those companies get the connections. So a lot of it obviously is into finance, and we have great relationships with a number of the VCs and angel parties, and keep up to date with what sort of companies they're interested in, because everyone has their own focus. In addition to that, we then have an ambassador program, which is where we bring in corporates who are now, we see a lot more of the corporates moving into what we call open innovation. So in the past, they'd be very sort of secretive on what they want to design and develop. Now they're seeing startups are doing this at a fraction of the cost, far, far quicker than they can. So instead of allowing the startups to sort of disrupt them in some regards, they want to come and partner with the startups. So we'll bring in a corporate like Pearson Media, who own Penguin Books or the Financial Times. They'll tell us what they're interested in. We'll go out and find the startups that are working in that space and arrange for them to sort of meet as kind of corporate dating, if you like. So we do a lot of that. We're doing those sort of sessions a couple of times a week. And we obviously focus on the companies in Rocketspace, but we also go beyond Rocketspace if we feel there's really strong contenders to do those partnerships. And it's a symbiotic relationship, because as a very young startup, you get a corporate grade early partner or customer. And from the corporate's point of view, they're getting to see and work with some of the most leading edge innovation.
And can you tell me a bit about your background, or what sort of inspired you or drove you to start this?
Yeah, so obviously I'm not a native Californian, originally Scottish, but my background prior to coming here, I had a technology company I sold in 2000. I then joined a friend's technology company, which he sold Message Labs to Symantec in 2008, and that was really my catalyst to move over to San Francisco. That and my wife, and I then started a company here in San Francisco as soon as I got here, and I actually really struggled with that company. I never really got it going, and in the end of 2010 decided to shut that company down. And that was one of the catalysts for me wanting to do something like Rocketspace, because what I realized was when I was sitting in the back of this great big building in my little office with our team trying to build this company, we didn't have any of the connections, we didn't have any of the serendipity of working in a space where there's lots of activity. And here in Rocketspace, we have about one company a week closing a round of funding, so there's always these high aspirations and high energy, and we really missed that. And I think it had a real impact on the business. So when I shut that business down, I was really keen to help other people avoid that mistake and build something where really you're motivated. It's infectious to have a successful business.
And I think maybe it's because you're an expat yourself, but a lot of people know of Rocketspace because of the sort of companies from all over the world that are attracted, or entrepreneurs from all over the world. You have Spotify's, West Coast operations are here, a few other companies. Can you tell me a little bit about that and what the breakdown is? How many foreign entrepreneurs you guys have?
Yeah, I think it's last year I spoke at a conference in Japan, I spoke at a conference in China, and I think and up in Canada, and I think it's amazing how when you're in Silicon Valley you forget what it's such a place that so many people look up to. It's this real mecca for technology, and we forget it because we're in it every day. But we get a huge volume of companies coming from all around the world. Gloops is a big Japanese gaming company in here at the moment. You mentioned Spotify. We've got a number of British companies, Spanish companies, Italian companies. So we have this huge influx, but we have to be very careful. We actually limit it to 25. Only 25% of companies in Rocketspace are allowed to be foreign, because the whole reason they're coming here is to mix with Silicon Valley companies, and if it just becomes like the UN, it kind of destroys that purpose. We do run programs with, we just started one with a Russian incubator, so they'll be bringing in a select few companies. We have one running with Spain, Canada, and one or two others. But I think it's hugely beneficial for these people to come to Rocketspace, because obviously we can quickly immerse them into the ecosystem and help them getting going. But if there's too many of them, I think it has a negative effect.
And so can you tell me just what's next, I guess, for Rocketspace? Do you have any plans over the coming months?
Yeah. We are, one of the things now is we've run out of space. So we're in 42,000 square feet here. We're looking for another 100,000, 150,000 square feet. It's not typical. The real estate industry is not used to a one-year-old company needing such a large amount of space. So that's given us some challenges, which we're working around at the moment. But no, we're the space component. There's obviously enormous demand. We get about 3 applications a day from companies to come in here. So there is enormous demand for that. But really, we're trying to be more like a university, that we're trying to focus in on attracting the best companies into Rocketspace, not going too large. I think if we had more space, we'd allow companies to grow bigger in Rocketspace, maybe go up to 50 or 100 people. So it's not so much that we want to have 1,000 companies. I think we're still going to focus around the best 150, maybe 200 companies that we can find in the Bay Area. And then the real exciting part for us is the programs. We want to do more with helping companies recruit talent, so maybe some education programs, some training programs, some recruitment programs, and obviously the corporates, because they're just an excellent source of business for these startups.
Great. Well, thanks for allowing us here and to look around a bit.
You're welcome. No, thank you.